November 26, 2012, the first day of snow in Seoul, South Korea. Pure and glistening, snowflakes were weightlessly cascading, waving hello through my client's office window. My heart leapt for joy. In contrast to the silence of snow drifting, I was experiencing the pounding exhilaration of having made it. I was living my childhood dream as a globe-trotting interpreter at high-stakes international meetings. Simultaneously, I had a nagging sense of something missing. With each flight across the Pacific Ocean, I sensed the void getting deeper and darker. Eventually, it swallowed up. Eventually, it swallowed up any perception of goodness. I later found out I live with high-functioning depression. When you think about depression, what comes to mind? You're probably thinking of sadness, loss of interest, loss of hope. These are the common pictures. They're incomplete. Depression is more. It can show up as irritability, even rage, forgetfulness, being overly outgoing, mysterious pain, weight loss, or gain. It can torment people with guilt. Depression isn't always visible. In a given year, 1 in 5 US adults experiences some form of mental illness. Many live with a silent form of depression called high-functioning depression. Like me, they go through their days just fine in the public eye. High-functioning depression is far more common than we think. It's hidden in plain sight, but devastating to people who experience it. Even very accomplished people live with mental health symptoms on the inside, while excelling professionally on the outside. People like Simone Biles, the most decorated gymnast in history. Michael Phelps, the 28-time Olympian gold medalist swimmer. And Kate Spade, the fashion icon. The ultimate price of depression can be death, most often from suicide or overdose. Fast forward to New Year's Eve 2017. Watching the festive fireworks, I asked myself, what would happen if I stopped existing? That was a pivotal point in the beginning of my healing, the moment I reconsidered professional help. The National Library of Medicine published that 60% of people with depression do not seek help. Some get help in the form of antidepressants, but according to the National Institute of Health, antidepressants don't work for up to 60% of people. When people don't get help, it's often due to stigmas. 80% of employees report stigmas on mental health conditions. My desperate search for help drove me to discover neurodiversity. Quoting the Cleveland Clinic, neurodiversity is a word used to explain the unique ways people's brains work. While everyone's brain develops similarly, no two brains are the same, just like our fingerprints. I began to understand that my brain is unique, creative, and curious. The traits of my brain also include extreme sensitivity to my physical environments and the evaluation of myself, often in the form of negative self-judgment. I'm so easily moved that I would tear up seeing a billboard about child labor. My emotions are exceptionally intense and acutely responsive. People would say that I don't have a normal brain. It turns out our assumption of normal brains is a myth. Different brains naturally have different abilities, different emotional intensity, and varied sensitivity to things like food or chemicals, which can trigger what are considered symptoms. The American Medical Association says, there is no standard brain to which all other human brains must be compared. There appears to be substantial uncertainty concerning when a neurologically based human behavior crosses the critical threshold from normal human variation to pathology. Not only are there people who are high functioning with depression, but there are also those who are very successful and living with other mental health conditions. Did you know that Michelangelo lived with obsessive-compulsive disorder? That was the source of his ability to work 50 hours straight. It was also his remarkable attention to details that gifted us the dazzling Sistine Chapel ceiling. And did you know that Sir Isaac Newton, the amazing inventor and scientist who discovered the law of gravity, lived with schizoaffective disorder? He repeatedly struck people, including his sister, and threatened his parents with burning them. Yet, his zest and insight left us with multiple world-changing scientific principles. They were brilliant, their brains were exceptionally gifted, and yet exhibited severe mental health conditions. Learning about neurodiversity helped complete my healing puzzle. I learned to appreciate my unique brain and to introduce self-compassion into my life. Self-compassion is the first tool in my customized mental health toolkit. At some point in our daily lives, we face challenges. We need tools to maintain our mental well-being. Let's create users' manuals for our one-of-a-kind brains. Experiment on what works for you. You can take your brain's user's manual to work as well. The evolving workplace. You can take your brain's user's manual to work as well. Speaking of work, neurodiversity needs to be part of a conversation on diversity, equality, and inclusion. By celebrating brain diversity, organizations can increase engagement, reduce attrition, and foster a mental health-friendly workplace. On the flip side, decreased engagement leads to presenteeism. Presenteeism is the loss of productivity from workers showing up to work but not fully present due to physical or mental illness. The cost of presenteeism exceeds $150 billion a year, considerably more than the combined revenues of Nike, Netflix, and Starbucks. Research shows that for every dollar invested in improving workplace mental health, the impressive return on investment is 4 times. Improving mental health pays off. The evolving workplace is one imbued with compassion, allowing differently abled brains to thrive. The evolving you at work as someone who is equipped. The evolving you at work as someone equipped with tools of self-compassion and self-care. Feeling good isn't about living our childhood dreams of accomplishments. I was mistaken. With that in mind, I would like to inspire us to be advocates for health. We can spearhead the movement to remove stigmas so that people are empowered to get help. Self-compassion, sleep, yoga, my cat, my professional support team. These are in my mental health toolkit. Let's designate today to be your mental health strategy day. What's in your mental health toolkit? Thank you.